You're watching Nevada Business Chronicles. Take a journey with us to see the innovative businesses that put Nevada on the business map. Connecting you with the businesses, events, and organizations that bring innovation and prosperity to the Nevada area, please welcome your host, Mitch Burney.
Very exciting. Today I'm with Sharron Angle, Joy Kincaid. We're in front of the old Sports Authority building for a reason. Your next expo, Nevada Women's Expo, coming up April 6th, April 7th. So excited. Tell me about it.
That's right, Mitch. We're really excited to bring some new life to this section of the Fire Creek Crossing Shopping Center. We're right next to Sam's Club. Starbucks is right over there. There are a lot of shops that people can come and shop at while they're here at the expo. We have a ton of parking, which has always been a problem at our past events, and any other event that you go to in town has a parking problem. So we have eliminated that problem altogether. There's over 40,000 square feet of room inside for our vendors and our shoppers, so you won't be crammed on top of each other, but it's very nice inside with carpeting and with tile walkways. We have dressing rooms for the clothing vendors who are going to come and join us, so that people can come and try on the clothes there and not have to do it in a little pop-up tent like they had to at some of our other events. There's really nice bathrooms in there. We have tons of room for food trucks. We want food trucks to come and be able to sell out here in the parking lot, and so that people will see the event as they're driving by, and our banners are going to be on the front of the building, so they'll know that there is definitely something going on here.
Sharron, the Nevada Women's Expo's got some history in our community. Tell me a little bit about why you started this, who should come to this, and what vendors you're looking for as well.
Thank you for asking those questions, Mitch. Of course, the history is we've been around for 15 years as Nevada Women's Expo. We were at the convention center first, which is just right over there, which makes this location even easier for our past customers to find. We're right here in Fire Creek Crossing, which we think is a great place not only for customers but for our vendors. We have a great load in, load out dock, so it's just easy in, easy out for our exhibitors. And that's one of the reasons why we're having it here.
This year, the theme is Celebrating Women, and as always, it's going to be a shopping extravaganza, but we just want to be able to celebrate what it means to be a woman and, to be independent, or, just enjoy the finer things in life, the frilly things of being a girl. So we encourage vendors who cater to women, but we also encourage vendors who sell products that men might be able to pick up for their significant other. So we encourage men to come in and shop too.
Well, that's right. We say we appreciate women in business, but we also appreciate businesses that appreciate women.
That's right.
So it's all about appreciating women.
One thing the community can always count on at the Nevada Women's Expo is the steals and deals that they can get at the Nevada Women's Expo. There are always deep discounts and things that you cannot get any other time except for shopping the Nevada Women's Expo.
Well, that's right, because we're going to have exhibitors here that work from home, that do handcrafted, homemade, homegrown things that are just not available in a brick and mortar shop. And we'll have those that are in brick and mortar shops also joining us, so that they have another location where they're able to show their craft, show their wares to the community. So you're right, Joy, they're going to be planning something really exciting just for this expo, so that we can get those steals and deals. And you can also look on our website, nevadawomensexpo.com, for those that are going to be participating. They'll be advertising some of these steals and deals. We'll have them up on that website as well at nevadawomensexpo.com.
The vendors. This is what's really important about the Nevada Women's Expo that separates it from any other event out there, is the diversity, but the fact that you don't overpopulate any one segment for vendors. So tell me how that works.
You're right, Mitch. We don't allow more than just a few vendors from each category, because we don't want to dilute the market and confuse the customer. But we do offer exclusivity at a sponsorship price if people would like to be the only one in their category. So we just really try to make it so that it's people can do a little comparison shopping on site. If you tried to do that around town, it would take hours. We allow you to do this one-stop shop in however long you want to be here, and get it all done and over with, and eat and have some fun, hang out with your girlfriends, And it's just a really great experience for everyone. The whole family can come. It's a family event.
That's right. I was going to say, bring your children, bring your husband. This is something for everyone. And we try to make it a good family atmosphere so that you're not afraid to bring your family, your children, your husband to this event. But I'm sure that there will be things that even your husband will say, come on, honey, you got to go over here and look at this. Or your child will say, Mom, have you seen this? And we like that diversity about our show.
That's right. Diversity is something that's always been very important for us at the Nevada Women's Expo, and we invite many different types of businesses to come and join us, from financial, banking, to insurance salesmen. To
we have pest control. We've had Mr. Fix-It. You need a handyman, he's here. You need a trampoline experience, they're here. You need a massage, they're here. You need a makeover, we've got that. So it's just a lot of different services and products. Name some.
Right now, the vendors that we have signed up are Lula Roe, ADT, Arbonne, New Skin, UB Fixed, and several others that are coming in as I speak. We have applications coming in the mail every day. So we have room for over 100 vendors, and we want to have as many as possible from each different type of service and product, and even nonprofits. We encourage them to come as well. We'd love to have the representatives from the Down Syndrome Network, and we're trying to get them here. And we're going to have the blood drive van. United Blood Services will be here doing a blood drive. So if they're a nonprofit and they want to get out into the community and get some volunteer exposure, this is the place to do it.
Well, speaking of exposure, we're expecting between 2,000 and 7,000 to attend our event. In the past, that's kind of the range that we've had in over 2 days. We expect to have that, and we really expect to have more here because of the location. We're right here in the middle of Southwest Reno shopping, Meadowood Mall, this mall, Fire Creek Crossing, the convention center, just the business community is surrounding us. So that's here, but also because we have great access this time. We've got good parking for those who want to come and visit, but we've also got great access for those who want to exhibit with us as well.
You mentioned nonprofits, and one of the fundamental beauties of the Nevada Women's Expo is that you give back at the end of this event to a nonprofit.
Yes, we do, Mitch. Every year we do give back to a nonprofit. This year our nonprofit beneficiary is Supportive Hope, and it is a network of data that is being put together for those parents and caregivers of people and children with special needs, so that they can go to our website, supportivehope.com, and find out where they can get services and resources for their loved one who has special needs. As many of you may know, we have baby Ben. He was born with several defects, but he's 16 months old and he's doing very well. But the purpose of Supportive Hope is to pull together resources that I had to pull together for myself, and it was very exhausting and taxing and time-consuming. So Supportive Hope pulls all those things together, puts them in one place on our website, and you can just click on a diagnosis, and it will point you in the right direction. So, not only does Nevada Women's Expo celebrate women, but we give back to the community, and this is the way that we're doing it this year. And we just really want to make people aware that we are a not-for-profit organization, and that we do this because we really do care about the public and the businesses who serve the public.
Mark your calendars, April 6th, April 7th at the Sports Authority in Fire Creek Crossing for the next Nevada Women's Expo. Tickets will go on sale online on March 1st, but vendors, there's space. You need to get your booths now, limited space for each category, so you don't want to miss out on this event. You can get all that information on NevadaWomen'sExpo.com.
Or they can call us directly at 775-787-6017.
That's Sharron Angle, Joey Kincaid, Nevada Women's Expo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
For more information on this guest or to see this show in its entirety, visit nvbusinesschronicles.com. While you're there, you can watch all of our past shows on the Chronicles page and stay connected with us by following us on our social media. Now more from Nevada Business Chronicles.
We promised you we were going to take you on the campaign trail with Sharron Angle, and today that's what we're doing. We're here in the beautiful city of Fernley. Tell us what we're going to do.
We're going to do some door-to-door grassroots campaigning. This is where I go and tell them I'm running for Congress and I want their vote. And then I ask them if they have concerns or issues, anything they'd like to talk to me about, because that's what's really important, isn't it, Mitch? I'm their representative. It's not the other way around.
What does the grassroots campaigning mean to you?
It means citizen lobbying, not professional lobbyists, and of course that's who I represent. It's those people that we're going to meet at the door. They're the ones that have the issues and the concerns that I should be thinking about.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm going to enjoy getting to see what this looks like. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What do you hope to gain going door to door?
Mitch, voters need to know their representatives, but more importantly, their representatives need to know them. And by going door to door, you meet them on their turf, where they talk to you about their families and their jobs and how their government is affecting their lives really. And that's really what you need to take back to Washington, D.C. when you go, is those faces, those real people and their real concerns.
You shared a story with me about when you were in the legislature about coming home and one of the people from across the street approaching you.
Yeah, it was about 10:30 at night, and my neighbor walked across the street as I got out of the car, and he says, "Sharron, I want to talk to you about AB 148. And that's really what lobbying should be about. He elected me. He had a concern about his government. He wanted to talk to me about a bill that was going through the legislature that was really going to impact his life. And he wanted to make sure that I knew how that was going to impact him. And he wanted to make sure that I knew how he wanted me to vote. That's lobbying.
You want to come in?
I do.
Okay, well, come on in. This is my dad, Joe. I'd like you to meet him. He's a World War II Marine veteran. He's in the Pacific Island Campaign.
Thank you, sir, for your service. My dad was in the Pacific too, but you were a Marine. He was a sailor.
Yeah, Dad joined the day after Pearl Harbor when he was 17, and had to have his mother sign him in, and then went down and trained at Pendleton, Camp Pendleton, and was out in the ocean there for nearly 3 years.
I think that's why they called him the greatest generation. My dad volunteered too. He was ready to go. When the country was in trouble, everyone signed up. There was not even a thought that America wouldn't be great.
Yeah.
And wouldn't win the war.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Sharron, this is my husband, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Nice to meet you, Sharron.
It's good to meet you as well. I was wondering if there's any issues or concerns, anything you'd like to talk to me about while I'm here.
You're running for U.S. Congress, right?
That's right.
Perfect. Well, there's a set of issues at the federal level that concern us greatly, and they all center around the Constitution, and especially the first two elements of the Constitution, 1 and 2, plus the 14th. It's all about our basic rights, and without those basic rights, we really have nothing. We don't want the United States to fall into the pit that so many other countries have fallen into, where they've lost their culture, they've lost their rights. You can't freely speak, you can't freely act, and there's really also anarchy and no law. That's a serious problem. We don't want to go there.
Couldn't agree with you more, Bob. In fact, I call myself a constitutional conservative, and I believe that if it's not specifically given to the federal government in our Constitution, then it belongs to the states. So you didn't mention the 10th Amendment, but
Right.
I believe that there are certain places that we need to really look at the federal government and decide if they should be involved in that area, and I can think of several. The EPA, for one, education is another, and as we start moving along, we think of Obamacare and our healthcare system. What is the federal government involved in that for? And the reason is because we need freedom as American citizens. That's what our country was founded on, was choice and freedom, and we need to get back to that. So I really appreciate that you are a constitutionalist and that you're thinking about the way that the government has overreached with our rights.
As I understand it, the original intent was a very limited government and govern of the people, by the people, for the people. And that way you don't have career politicians and all these lawyers and lobbyists and all these other people that are actually influencing government, but not in the interest of the people, in their own vested interest. And anybody that can deal with that at the federal level is going to be extremely helpful for the rest of us to reclaim and maintain our constitutional rights and freedoms that make this the best country in the world. Why is it that everyone and everywhere wants to come here? It's not because it's a bad place, it's because it's a good place.
That's right. It is a good place to live, and I think most of us have felt more and more encouraged since our new president has taken office, because he truly has begun to keep his promises to make America great again. And one of the things that made America great was the freedom and our Constitution. And as you said, people want to come here because they realize that we do have a great country that allows people freedom, and we have a great Constitution. So I appreciate what you said.
And these elections are so important because we have a so closely divided federal government in the legislatures that we need all the good hands we can get. And I look forward to voting for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that as well, that you have identified the American way, which is a government that comes from the people. And so the government closest to the people is probably the most important government. And I know that a lot of people think, well, you're moving up when you go to Congress. You're actually moving farther away from the people. And that's what I'm doing out here, is trying to get close once more to the people, because at every level of government, the people need to be the voice. Hi, I'm Sharron Angle. I'm running for Congress, and I want you to vote for me. When I asked if you had issues or concerns, you said, yeah, immigration. Well, talk to me a little bit about that.
Actually, I wanted to find out if you align with more of Trump's idea of immigration or some of the left's idea of immigration. I mean, where do you stand on unregulated immigration? Are you for finding people who have had green cards expire? The issue of dreamers. Are you worried more about the Muslim influx, or maybe even from south of the border?
Well, I'm glad you asked the question, honestly, because I think I'm to the right of the president on this one. I don't believe that amnesty worked when Reagan did it. In fact, it actually exacerbated the problem, and I know that President Reagan thought he was going to get closed borders and into chain migration and e-verify, those kinds of things that we all want. We want the fence, we want border security. But what happened was they got amnesty first, and the rest of it never happened. And so my question is always, are we going to get ours first before the amnesty? My second question is, if we know what we want in order to make immigration work, we all know that the system is broken. If we want it to work, why do we have to throw amnesty in the mix at all? We have 51 votes in the Senate. We've been able to get Supreme Court judges with 51 votes. Can't we get a good immigration policy with 51 votes? And just work out the immigration policy. Then we can talk about DACA and the Dreamers and what comes next after we get the things in place that we know will fix the broken system. But as far as I can see, amnesty is not a good solution. We have people and each one of them has a story. And each story is a little different, and the laws that we have in place right now actually will provide solutions for the problems that are existing here. So I'm not completely unsympathetic to those that are here, but each one of them has a story and we should be dealing with it on a case-by-case basis. And I think once we have addressed the immigration problems, then those folks that are here, we should then begin to address their problems on a case-by-case basis. And some of them will have to go home, but many of them will be able to stay just because the law already allows for that.
Well, there's an issue on the Dreamers, and a lot of that is the pathway to citizenship.
Right.
I don't know what the pathway to citizenship is. Most Americans don't. And so are you confident that there is such a pathway for the ones that would pass the test of not being, you know, criminals or in jail, or, you know, the ones that are actually, you know, fighting for the American dream and going to college and paying taxes and stuff like that? Would there be some pathway that would put them in the back of the line, of course, to anybody who's already taken the proper course? But, you know, some of these have been in the States for 16, 18 years. You know, I mean, what do you do besides an individual case-by-case basis?
Well, I think, again, we have to look at that individual case-by-case basis, but the pathway to citizenship is the same for everyone.
It is.
It is.
I don't know.
Because usually you don't just come in illegally, you get a visa.
Sure.
Well, so the first thing that anyone needs if they are really seriously thinking about citizenship is they need to get some kind of a visa that allows them to, a work visa or a student visa, something that allows them to stay here. And if they've been brought in by illegal parents, those parents also have that same opportunity to come forward and say, I need a visa. How do I get a visa to stay in this country? And there are attorneys all over this country, immigration attorneys, and that's their main thought is how do we get that first step done? How do we get a visa so that you can stay here, work, go to school, and then you go through the process, and it is a process. It takes years to get citizenship, but everyone who has become an American citizen who has immigrated here has gone through that process, and everyone should be going through that process.
Certainly.
No matter how they got here, they should now enter the system. We have a rule of law here in our country. The laws apply to everyone, or should, and they should be submitting themselves to those laws, and the law first says you need a visa.
Well, the ones, I guess it'd be the exception to the rule is immigrants from like Syria and stuff like that, where there's no vetting possible because the records are completely gone. And so, you know, when you hear that they are intentionally going to put in terrorists in with the actual people who deserve to come, you know, how would you vet something like that? How would you slow down, or I don't think you could eliminate the possibility, but at least negate the possibility of terrorists, you know, entering that flow?
Homegrown terrorism is always going to be a real problem for us, and I think as we've watched Europe deal with this problem, they haven't found any really good solutions for it either.
I don't think they're looking, though.
I think that we have to take a page out of the Israeli book. I was just in Israel, and one of the things that the Israelis said to me about America is we're just not vigilant enough as American citizens. The Israeli citizen looks and watches for things that are out of the ordinary, things that will tip them off that something is just not right with a person that's in a crowd or things that are happening around them. He said, you need to be more vigilant. He said, the other thing that we do is that all of our citizens are trained in how to use firearms, how to use guns. And here in Nevada, of course, we're very pro-Second Amendment, most of us, and we believe what the founders said about the Second Amendment, which is that we have the right to defend ourselves. And so, as Jefferson said, an armed citizenry is a civil citizenry, and we should be vigilant, and then we should be able to be proactive about some of these things.
I'm really upset that this country has lost its ability to travel freely. Stopping at checkpoints, TSA. Now I've seen that they have immigration actually getting in the planes, airplanes, and walking through and asking people for their paperwork and stuff like that. I'm not sure where the end of it is, but the TSA has now ventured outside of the airports and are starting roadblocks, just like the Border Patrol and stuff like that are, hundreds of miles inside the continental United States, inside of our borders. And is there an end to that? Is there? I mean, I consider that against the Constitution in the very most basic way.
I think since the FISA scandal has come out, and we've seen our FBI has been less than professional about how they've used the law and in fact have abused this law, it has made all of us very cautious about our government and what they're doing, and these kinds of security measures. Is it really for our security, or is there something else going on? We're all very suspicious of it. And again, I would say let's take some lessons from countries that have been dealing with terrorism and had to have these kinds of security measures in place for a long, long time. And I know when I was in Israel, we as Americans take off our shoes and start taking everything off, and they started laughing at us and they said, "Oh, you're from the USA." And it's because they don't require all of that. They actually do profiling. And they look for the one that is going to cause trouble. They also are very good at screening those of us that they don't think are going to cause trouble, but it doesn't require the things that we're required to do here to have that kind of system in place. So once again, I would say there are people in this world that have been doing this a lot longer and have had some success with it, and maybe we shouldn't try to, as they say, reinvent the wheel. Maybe we should take a lesson and see if we can find the solution from someone who's already worked through the problem. Thank you so much for spending your time with me here today.
Thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate
that.
Well, and
thank you for answering the door. So, I'll be on my way then.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you later.
For more information on this guest or to see this show in its entirety, visit nvbusinesschronicles.com. While you're there, you can watch all of our past shows on the Chronicles page and stay connected with us by following us on our social media. For information on becoming a guest on our show, contact us at info@nvbusinesschronicles.com. We hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week at the same time for more from Nevada Business Chronicles.